I am Dan. With me is Angela. I'm pointing this way. I'm pointing the wrong way, aren't I? Angela,
Other way. Yay.
way over there. Um, Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another question and answer live stream here in the Switcher Studio 101 group. Of course, this group, as many of you know, is here for new users, new trialers, people just getting started with live video. And our goal here right now is to help you all make the best live video possible. Um, so you have questions. You might have questions. We'll have answers. So please ask those in the comments below. In fact, I have a lower third here. And our topic, before we get into a bunch of questions, is we always like to give some tips and tricks as well. Kind of give you some extra uh, firepower, I guess, for your live stream. So today we're going to be talking about graphics in live stream and how to use them. But before we get into that, I do want you all to ask as many questions as possible in the comments. And Angela and I, we've been here for a long time. We've done a ton of live streams, so we're going to be here and happy to answer those for you. I feel like I do these intros, and then before when we're kind of planning, I'm like, and I'll talk about the first thing, and that's going to be like 10 minutes of me talking just straight through. So, Angela, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. For anyone living in our area, very excited that we have probably the last stretch of warm weather that we're going to have for a few months. So definitely eating that up as much as I can at this point. I've got the basement door open, so I'm getting that nice breeze on our live stream today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is nice right now. Who knows how long that's going to last? I know it was like 30 degrees. Is it earlier this week or something?
It
So,
was it was like I think over the weekend it was like 27. I remember when I let the dogs out, and then the next day it was like 60, and I was like, "What is this? What is
yeah.
this
So,
madness?"
I want to reiterate our main goal here while we're live is to get questions from you all and answer those for you. So again, please, if you're watching this live, comment those questions below and we'll get to them. And as those questions are coming in, I kind of already said this, but I'm just going to repeat myself in case you're just joining. We like to cover a topic regarding live video and how to do things with Switcher Studio. And one thing Switcher Studio does really well, and I think can be utilized greatly, is graphics in your live stream. So this can be full screen graphics. It can be lower thirds. It can be titles. At the beginning, I think you remember me seeing this live soon. I'll put that back up there as an option. You can do crazy stuff like this and have a big logo on screen. So all sorts of different options. They can really just make your production that much better and that much more engaging. You can drive people to do certain things. Like right now, we really want you guys to ask your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and put that lower third up there. So a lot of these things we can do in Switcher Studio. I'm going to go over how to create some of them in Switcher or some of the options. You might already see that as well. So I'm going to give you guys a couple advanced tips and tricks, I guess you could call them, on what to do. And then Angela will go over some ways to bring in graphics you might have already made, or if you need a free option to make some new ones yourself, if it's an overlay or if it's a full screen graphic, there's some great options out there. And she's going to discuss those with you as well. So let me switch to a 3-up here, and I'm going to share an iPad screen. So I already have a ton of stuff already built into this one. Graphics, full screen images, all those things. The plus button, the blue circle at the bottom of the sources will bring up the asset menu. And from here, you have all your options. So photos, this will bring up a full screen image if you want it to take up the full screen. Of course, we have our text and graphics. So these are the dynamic ones that animate in and out, such as this one down here that I so much like to use. So if you scroll through and choose which ones you want, all these are going to animate in. You can change them. So here's some different social overlays. You saw that Switcher Studio one. I just changed the image on that one. Lower thirds, I had the one up of Angela and I really like to use these. Here's the one I've been using down below for asking you to ask your questions using graphics in your live stream, those ones. So play around with these, find out which ones you like the best and which ones are going to work for you. Again, all this information on how to do this is on our knowledge base as well. And if you do want a full tutorial, please let us know in the comments here for that specific topic. But I just want to show you some other cool things you can do with it, such as let's go and make a lower third. And let's pretend like we need to make Angela's right now. So I'm going to put in Angela. And Angela, you're just going to be a historian and author right now. I hope that's okay with you.
I am fine with that.
What I want to show you guys is these title colors, background colors, so you can completely customize these and change the colors. Now, if you're just getting back into Switcher, you'll remember there was just a color wheel that you had to kind of swipe through and find the color you want. Well, now you can have different presets down here for the colors you want. You still have the slider to be able to go around, and you'll also see up here is a hex key. So if you know a certain color's code for like your show, or if you have a certain color part of your company, you can plug that in right here and get that exact color, so you don't have to just fiddle around and try and make it as close as possible. You can also just type in red if you want the color red, and it's gonna do that for you automatically. So yeah, all of these can be changed. Fonts can be changed. Just want to make sure that people know that they can scroll down and around. Something else you can do here is, as you can see, I'm dragging this around the screen. So if you see that gray checkered background, that means that you can move this around the screen and place it somewhere else. Just like this offset here, I'm going to make this more in the middle here. So sure, the colors don't look great, but we're gonna go with this one. I'm gonna tap done, and of course that is now ready to be used. Another option I really like doing with Switcher Studio, especially for lower thirds, so you don't have to create every single one from scratch. Do a long hold on the one you just make, and there's a duplicate option there. So if I tap on duplicate, I now have an exact copy of that one. So I can come in, long hold on that one, choose edit and change. Maybe I need this one to be for me. So I'm going to put in Dan, and I will also be a historian and author, and I can just slide this one over to me. And just like that, we have two, I guess they're not lower thirds when I put them up in the corner, are they, Angela?
Upper thirds.
Upper thirds. That's a new one for me.
We have to coin it, Dan. It's ours right
now. Another one I see used a lot is this one. This Junior League Playoffs is what it's called right now, but it's a fun slide in and out. This one too can be up and down. So I see a lot of people have that bottom part there, and they might want that to be part of it. I always like to pin mine to the bottom, so I like to scroll mine down and have mine be part of the problem. So really play around with these and find which ones of these are going to work really well for you and great for you while you're live. So I'm going to check on some of the comments here and switch some of our graphics around. But Angela, if you want to talk about maybe the different types of images that can be brought in, so the difference between an overlay or a lower third and a full screen graphic, and if you have one made already, how you can bring that in, the different options you have there, or if you need to create one outside of Switcher, how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Dan just showed, it's really quick and easy to create, graphics, whether they're full screen or whether they're lower thirds or upper thirds or wherever you need to place them within the Switcher Studio app. And we do have a lot of customization, but a lot of people start using Switcher Studio and they already have, full screen graphics made or lower thirds made, or they have, they want to create their own with their logo kind of attached to it. So for instances like those, you can import those pretty easily into Switcher Studio, and there are several ways to do that. So the first way to do that is through your Photos app, through the camera roll itself. And so what you want to do is you want to bring in that image into the Photos app. The easiest way to do that is normally by emailing it to yourself and then saving it from your email to the Photos app. You can also bring it in by, if it's on a website or something that you have saved already, you can save it directly to the Photos app that way as well. So once you've got that saved into the Photos app, all that you'll want to do is go into Switcher Studio, and just the way you got started with tapping on the blue plus icon for your assets, you're going to want to, in the same vein, open that up, and you'll have a couple of different options. So the first option you'll have is for full screen. And when you have full screen going, you're able to, literally bring it in full screen. It's going to automatically hit that 1920 by 1080 ratio for you, so you don't have to worry about resizing or anything. And this is great for like a splash screen for your opening, for your exit. If you've got like a full page ad that you want to put up, it's great and easy to use at that time. Now, another option that you have is going to be to bring it in as an overlay. So what this is going to allow you to do is use it as a lower third or a logo, or just place it somewhere on the screen. So if you want a mid-screen text that says "We'll be right back," you can do that as well. Now, something important to remember is when you've got a full screen graphic, it can be either a JPEG file or a PNG file, whichever one you want. But when you are using the overlay option, you do want that to be a transparent PNG file. And what you're going to want to do for that is make sure it is saved from wherever it is as a transparent PNG. And then you are going to want to import it directly. So again, if you've made this on a computer, save it to your email, download directly from your email onto your main switching device and bring it in as an overlay. Or if you've made it with an app on your main switching device itself, save it to the photos and then bring it in immediately. You don't want to do a lot of moving it around, because that can break the transparency. And that's a lot of times where it's transparent when you made it, but then as soon as you've imported it, you see that black background or white background, and we don't want that. So make sure you import it directly as a PNG with transparency from your email or from the Photos app itself. Now, saying that, make sure if you're using the Photos app that you leave the picture, whether it's a JPEG or a PNG, in Photos. If you import that from Photos and then delete it from Photos, it's going to break on you. We don't want that to happen. So you're definitely going to want to make sure, you leave it on the Photos app. And this, for anyone doing video, this goes for video as well. Make sure it stays on there. Don't delete it, and you'll be fine. Now, there are a few other ways to import from different apps. So one is our Switcher Cloud feature. So this is not available when you're on a trial, but it is available on any 3 of our paid plans. So if you're using the Essentials plan, you're able to have up to 20 assets on there as once. If you're on standard, you have up to 100. And for our Plus users, the Enterprise package, you can have up to 500. So these go directly, from your computer into Switcher Cloud, and then you can download them directly into Switcher Studio. So this is a way you can make sure, if you have multiple graphics for multiple shows, that they're not taking up your Photos app. You can save them on in advance to the Switcher Cloud and download them as needed. Also, if you've created graphics in Switcher Studio, you can upload them from Switcher Studio into Switcher Cloud, and that way you can download them again anytime that you want. The last 2 methods that we have that you can always use are Google Drive and Dropbox. And both of these are great methods as well. They work about the same. It really just depends on which you prefer, which you prefer to use. Some people already have, Google accounts for personal use or for work, or if you have a YouTube account, you've got a Google account right there. Gmail, of course, means a Google account. So a lot of people do prefer Google Drive, but a lot also have Dropbox already for organization. Um, so that is another great option to use. And if you go to our help center, we can go to our website, search for the help center. You can look up a full guide on both Google Drive and Dropbox to use at any time. So those are a couple of different methods that you can use to bring in different assets.
Yeah, that's super helpful, Angela. I'll also mention when Angela was saying don't delete those from the. Whoops, I think we just lost Angela. Speaking of, I'm sure she'll be back here soon. But when you import your images to Switcher Studio, make sure that you don't have the iCloud enabled and just for all your images to be backed up and only saved there, because if that image or video is not saved onto your actual device, it's not going to be able to be brought into Switcher Studio. Look who's back. Angela's back.
I don't know when I disappeared, because I heard you say you're going to check comments, and I went through my entire spiel for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, Dan's not moving. Let me refresh my screen.
Oh, you've been there the whole time. You don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone in the comments here saying everything's crazy. Let's switch it up here a second, Angela. I'm gonna, because we're getting some great comments in. I want to make sure we get to these here. So all that is really good information about bringing graphics in and how to bring them in if you already have them created. So what we'll do is we'll answer some questions now, and then we have we'll kind of end the show now with a couple free options that are out there that will allow you to make images for free. Spoiler alert, Pixlr and Canva are two great options. So those we're going to show you. And then there's the Overapp as well. So let me hop over here because I want to make sure we are getting to these questions. I see PC More. How do you get the company color or particular color? So that's like a lot of times with companies, they'll have what's called a brand standard guide, and those actual hex colors, it's a hex code for the color will be there. And then I'll show you again here in Switcher Studio when you are creating let's say a lower third. We'll change this this orange background to, let's say it needs to be I don't know the actual hex colors for stuff, but we'll come in and up top you see like there's that hashtag F05323. If I tap on that, it's going to bring up this this new menu, and I can not that. I'll just kind of type in some numbers and letters and see what we get. That's kind of a fun color. So
Yay.
yeah. So if that was the hex key that you got from the company or whoever it is for your show or titles or anything, that's how you would change it and bring that in. That's a great question.
I would say one thing to add to that I've always done. If you already have a logo or a graphic you've created and you want to use that specific color, but you're not sure what the hex code is, if you bring that into any program with what's called an eyedropper tool, which tells you the hex code, like Photoshop or Pixlr or anything else, you can just import that image, use the eyedropper, and it'll tell you the hex code, and that way you can write it down and know what it is for further knowledge. So if you don't know what the hex code is already, you can still get that and start using it to build, kind of your brand color scheme.
I feel like there's also some Chrome additions or add-ons that you can do where you push a button, then you can, like, any image that's online, you can tap on it and get that eyedropper. So there's definitely a lot of options out there. But yeah, bring it into something like Photoshop or Pixlr is a great option as well to get those hex colors. Todd was asking, how do you configure your 3-screen setup for this live like we have right now? So that's from this plus menu. So again, we'll come in here. This is a multi-view. and I'm using the grid option. So with the grid, you'll see we have number of sources as the first option, and you can actually get up to 9 sources live here. But if I just delete down to 3, there you go, you have that, and then we can come in and adjust the background color if we needed to. Or what's also really great with this is you can come in here and get a fun background color. I think I've got, like, other than a million pictures of my child, I think I've got, like, the one I use for this on here somewhere. Maybe not. But yeah, you can bring in a background image as well. Hey, we got some these. There you go. That's kind of gives you a good idea. So I'll tap on it, and then choose. Hopefully, I have 3 like pictures. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, we have our 3 up. So great question there. Can you make it where we can adjust the image size, the picture-in-picture? That way, we are not stuck to the current layout. Myron, I hope I understand your question correctly, because if so, I believe we already have that ability. So I think the picture-in-picture you're talking about is this one down here. And it actually, if you just drag your finger around, you can move this B location anywhere on screen. You can also adjust the border thickness and rounding radius. So I've seen a lot of people do like a circle for their selfie cam and put it down on the corner. Tap done, and yeah, you'll see we have that down here. So it could be, we'll do a video in the background, and we'll just pretend, a video there too. So yeah, that's a great question. I hope that is what you're wanting. If not, let me know. Are you going to make it so we can add more virtual guests? That's a possibility in the future. Right now, it is limited to the plans that you're on. But yeah, I think the plus plan, what's the max, Angela? Is it 4?
Yeah, so the plus plan currently, well, actually, you can have 5 for plus. So the plus plan, which is our enterprise plan, you can have 5 guests simultaneously. Standard, you can have 2, and essentials, you can have 1. And like Dan mentioned, we don't know anything yet about if that will increase, but it is like a never say never. The door is definitely open for that in the future. And if we do ever have a situation where the number of guests increases on any of these plans, we'll let you guys know via email and via our website and social media, so that way you can start taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm seeing more comments come in. Todd's saying Canva's good. I see we got someone who is into using Canva. I like to see that. Looping video for Switcher Studio. If you have a feature request that or something you think it would be useful with Switcher, please, that's something we like to hear and see. So you can email us. support@switcherstudio.com is our email. And when we get those feature requests, we tag them in there so they get sent to the engineers and know, hey, this is something that the people are wanting. So if it's something that you're passionate about or something you think would be a great idea, please reach out to us, because we'd love to be able to add some of these things that our customers are asking for. I see Jared, I think, is coming in to help out with the Myron question. I think, Dan, you could use horizontal and vertical cropping to actually adjust the picture size. I'm not sure what Jared's talking about there.
Maybe another multi-view.
Is it a multi-view?
It sounds like it might be a multi-view response to someone.
Jared, if you're still watching this and you want to explain it to me, message me and I'll send you the link, and we'll bring you in as a guest on this live if you want to. And then I see Chris Strubb in here. Hi, Chris. Glad to see you here. Hope your streams are going well. Yeah. So, Angela, you want to talk while we let people ask a couple more questions? You want to talk a little bit about some of these options to create graphics out there?
Sure. So, we just went over ways to bring in graphics, but for a lot of people, they wonder how to make them. So, of course, if you have image editing software already, I know Photoshop's one of the most popular. It's what I use. There's several different options out there. You can create images on your own, but for a lot of people, they need something quick and easy and at a much lower cost than, a lot of Adobe products. So there's a few that we highly recommend. The first is Pixlr. This is a web-based application. It's, basically like a mini Photoshop. So if you're used to Photoshop, it has a lot of the same options, but on a basic scale. You can create an account on there. So even though it is web-based, you can save it to your Pixlr account. And this will allow you to make full screen graphics. It will allow you to make your lower thirds and logos. It lets you, we mentioned the eyedropper, it'll let you do hex colors or find the correct color. So that's a great option. And again, that's Pixlr, Pixlr. Just type it in on your browser and you're good to go.
That's what you're
Another
seeing
option.
right here, right now, too.
Oh, option. Awesome. So another option we have is Canva. We've already seen this one mentioned in the comments today. Canva is another great tool. You can customize based on your brand colors and brand fonts, but there's also a lot of pre-made templates in there. So instead of having to know what size you want things or need things to be, instead of having to kind of trial and error, oh, it's too big, let me try it again. Oh, it's too small, let me try it again. You can use some of their pre-made templates to just hit the ground running, and you can still bring in some of your own images and stuff to kind of lay onto there. So Canva, what you're seeing right now, is another great option. A third option that I always recommend is for iOS. It's called Over. So it's an app called Over. It's free to install. You've got a lot of features for free. And then for Max features, you can get their subscription. It's a low price subscription, but there's a lot you can do with the free one. And again, you can use hex codes to create the color scheme that you need for your brand. You can choose fonts. You can edit photos. You can create photos. So this is something that I use a lot as well. If I'm on the go, I need to make something really quick and I don't have access to Photoshop, or I need, something more than, Switcher's in-app generator. Like I need to add like a picture to my lower third or something like a bubble. I'll use Over, and you can export that as a PNG as well. That way it's already on your Photos app and you can just import it straight into Switcher Studio. So Canva, Pixlr, and Over are three options that I highly recommend. And of course, if you have image editing software already on your computer, feel free to use that as well.
I'm trying to get Jared to join us right now. Chris Strubb
Hey,
also
we can
said he'd
be
join us.
oh yay! We can be a 2 for 2 on weeks having special guests.
Right. Uh okay, Jared says his audio is being weird. Here's Jared. I see him
Hey,
popping
it's
in. We might
Jared.
also get Chris Strubb. Let's just make it a party. Um, Chris, I just sent you a Facebook message. If you want to join us, hop on in. But yeah, let me do this and go bam, bam, bam. Jared, thanks for joining us. For those of you who don't know, Jared's another one of our team members. You might have talked to him in support. But I think, Jared, you said you might have I think you understand what Myron was talking about. Is that right?
Maybe, yeah. So I was
And if
just
you need me to show something, let me know.
sure. So he was talking about the picture-in-picture. So if I understand right, you can actually adjust the size of the B image by using the vertical and horizontal cropping options for picture-in-picture. So you can actually change the size and the position and the rotation of it.
So I think what you're saying is maybe border thickness all the way gone.
Well, no. So actually pull it up real quick if you want, and I'll walk you guys through it.
Okay, I've got the multi-view up. Do you not see that in the chat?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
You want to just tell me what you want to do? I can happily do that for you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not looking at my camera, guys. But if you scroll down and change the horizontal cropping, it'll make it like wider vertical cropping will make it bigger. So you can actually like adjust the size of the B image or move it to the middle. And then you have that scale option you can actually make it full screen if you want. I don't know why you do that, but it'll actually completely adjust the size of that B image, and you can use pitch and yaw to adjust how it sits. So if you want it to be all weird and angly, you can do that. Or if you want it to sit kind of like crooked in the image, it'll work that way too.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying, and that is for sure a good way to do this. And I've actually seen this used a lot for things like scoreboards. Before we had the scoreboard that you could bring into Switcher directly, we had people taking an extra camera and just pointing it at a scoreboard at the arena they were at, and bringing it in exactly what you're talking about here.
Yeah, so there's lots of different things you can do with just that option. So hopefully that helps Myron out a little bit more. But that's what I was trying to say.
You can also always email us at support@switcherstudio.com. I think I've got a lower third for that. I thought I did. I should if I don't. Support@switcherstudio.com is what you can do to get in touch with us. And yeah, one of these two at least, or myself, or someone else on the team is going to help you out. Uh-oh. I think we have some trouble here. And by trouble, I mean not really trouble. Chris Strubb is here.
It's Chris.
What's
one of our company values here at Switcher is being agile. So I love that we're able to just bring in people watching or other team members to answer questions. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing can I tell you how much just seeing you guys is brightening my day today? Like, Angela, you guys are just so wonderful. And I promise they're not paying me to say this. Like, this team is just so fantastic. These little office hours things that you guys do are like my favorite Facebook notification to catch sometimes randomly, because I'll just come in and bug you guys. And it's humbling to be able to jump in and kind of say hi. Jared, I don't think we've met, but it's nice to see you too, man. Thank you so much for letting me just barge in here. This is really cool.
Chris, you want to talk a little bit about your story and what you do, what are all the live video that you've been creating for how long has it been now?
About 5 years. I've been using Switcher for most of them. I was wearing this shirt before I even knew that you guys were live. So, but just to double check, we're live in the 101 group, right? So we'll talk basic stuff.
Yeah.
There's also once you graduate from the 101 group, there's an awesome Facebook group called the Enthusiasts, Switcher Studio Enthusiasts, which I think you guys also go live in there sometimes. And they talk about all the high level stuff. Which is where I hang out in there too. But this shirt says Give for Good. Give for Good Louisville is actually the 24-hour online giving day in Louisville. And Switcher's been a partner in that for several years now because of course, Switcher is in Louisville. So, we've raised tens of millions of dollars for 500 plus nonprofits in Louisville. And a huge part of that is thanks to the live streaming video that we've been able to create using Switcher Studio. And it's just been incredible. Last year we had some tech issues and, Dan was there, came into the office and helped us out, get things plugged in, and Google Pucks, and just the support that you guys have shown for the Louisville community. It's getting me emotional, Angela. I'm sorry. It's really special to think about how deep an impact Switcher has really had in Louisville, and through the work that I've done in other communities as well. I've used Switcher with 6 different giving days in 6 different states this year. And so I really am just obsessed with your product. And I'm really grateful, Dan, that I got a chance to jump in, because I was commenting a couple weeks ago about this. And I think you guys in the comments were talking about the multi-views right before I jumped in too. Mm-hmm. What I was saying was, imagine a multi-view, and I'm not sure what I think his name is Myron was saying, but imagine a multi-view where, and let me make sure I have you guys the program feed. Imagine a multi-view with the 4 of us, where instead of all the screens are equal, imagine, okay, Chris is talking for a while. He's like the main screen, and then we could stack Dan and Angela and Jared on the side, right? So something like that, where it's more than 2 inputs, but one of the inputs is like the primary input, and then the other inputs are sort of like the subsequent inputs.
Okay. That's really interesting. And that is something, I love hearing that, hearing this kind of stuff from our users. Myron, I hope that's what you were thinking as well, because that is a cool idea. We have some stuff in the works. Not exactly, I think, is going to solve that issue, but there are hopefully some things coming soon that we'll be able to discuss a little more. Again, like no timeline. I'm not telling you to like be on the lookout for like the next couple of weeks something coming out, but we're always trying to make Switcher the best thing possible. So hearing this kind of stuff is really, really useful for us. Yeah.
And thank you again, just for, to everybody there for creating this culture where moments like this are possible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Dan just sent me a Facebook message with a link and I jumped in, and I think that speaks both to the simplicity of being able to join in a video like this and the culture of like, hey, like one of our users wants to jump in and say what's up. Like, let's do it. Yeah. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but the more multi-views you guys can pour on us, Ernesto, like the more boxes you can sketch, the better. So thank you guys. I was going to say, I think I see Myron here in the saying, read my comment. I think, we're seeing that, and that's a great idea. So it's not possible right now in Switcher, but hearing that stuff is super, super helpful. And Chris, I want to thank you, just like outside of Switcher and all of this stuff. I saw on your social media that you were being a poll worker yesterday for the election, and thank you so much for getting out there and helping people able to vote. It's a tough job, and it absolutely needs to happen, and it's awesome to see people I know engaging in that. You're welcome. It was challenging for me to do a job where I couldn't like take all my tripods and set up my iPad and start switching. It's a very different kind of work yesterday. No live streaming in the gymnasium there, but it was very humbling and great to be a part of the process. I will let you guys go. I don't want to soliloquy here, but thank you again for letting me jump in, and thank you again for creating these office hours. If Nick is watching, like, let these guys do this every day. This is awesome and super helpful. And I think it really helps connect with these groups and really helps improve the product in new ways. So Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for hopping in here, Chris.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
You got it, guys. I'm sure I'll see you soon. All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. I always like
awesome
that kind of stuff. I've covered everything we have here, and I think we got most of the comments as well covered. Jared, you're just joining us now. You want to give your best? I'm putting you completely on the spot, so completely blow me off and say I don't have anything right now. But your biggest tip for we were talking about graphics earlier, so your biggest tip for using graphics, something you would recommend people to do. Oh, Jared, you might be muted. I think Jared is.
No.
We might have lost Jared. It's such as life. We'll keep him up there just in case. Angela, you have your last big tip for.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's there back. You are.
Hey. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys covered all of the big tips for graphics and things like that. I think the best advice I would give is don't be afraid to get creative with it. I think there's some limitations to us being an iOS app that are hard to work with. But I mean, my podcast, when we go live with Switcher, I've probably got like 20 graphic assets and I just go nuts. I have my iPad out in front of me and I just go nuts. So don't be afraid to try little things like nameplates in your picture-in-picture and all that fun stuff, because you can set up something that looks very similar to what you see on Twitch or YouTube or wherever else you're streaming with overlays and stuff. You can still work within those boundaries to do crazy cool stuff. So just get creative with it. I'd encourage everybody to like download like paint.net or free editor and dive into the graphics world and have fun trying to create stuff, because it's super fun and super rewarding to create your own thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys what too. You know, we build out this big list of stuff that we're going to talk about each week. And I'm seeing the last couple of weeks, a lot of people have talked about multi-views. So maybe we'll do a whole live stream about that coming up soon. So
Yeah.
I'll also mention, if you guys are watching this after the fact, first of all, thank you for tuning in, for everyone who's watching live and for everyone who's watching after the fact. And hello to all the people on YouTube watching this when it gets uploaded there. But if you have ideas for live videos or something you would really like to see us cover, let us know in the comments. Email us at support@switcherstudio.com. Just put a post in the Facebook groups, and we'll see those, and we're happy to help you. One of the biggest goals here at Switcher, I always say, is for us to help you all make better live video. So we'll give you all the tools and stuff you need with Switcher, but there's other things out there, such as how to get creative with these graphics, as Jared was talking about, other ways to create them outside of the app. That's all stuff we know about, and we want to give out to you all as well. So please let us know questions that you guys have, so we can make sure to cover all those. Great. You guys have anything else?
I'll probably end it with, what I usually say each week, because we still see a couple of these in support each week, especially with this being 101. So a lot of you guys are getting started. Anytime you have a question of, is this possible, or you're having trouble getting something to function as it should, we never like seeing the emails where they're like the past several days, several weeks, sometimes several months, you've had this issue. When you have a problem, don't be afraid to send an email to support@switcherstudio.com so we can help you, immediately. We don't like hearing that you guys have been having issues. So, a lot of times it's a quick fix. It's hit this and you're fine. If it's more intensive than that, we're happy to troubleshoot with you and get things back on track. So no matter how easy you feel the answer probably is, definitely write in. You've got the three of us, you've got more people on the support team. We're always willing to help you out.
Yeah. Thank you, Angela, for all your information. Thank you, Jared, for coming in last second and providing some great insight as well. Really appreciate it. And thanks, Chris, for hopping in for a little bit. I guess that's it for now. So stay tuned. We'll be scheduling our next one for next week here very soon. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.